Welcome back to News First. In honor of the discovery of the link between malaria transmission and mosquitoes, today is recognized as World Mosquito Day. And in the midst of this holiday, the Department of Public Health and Social Services is currently monitoring one suspected case of a mosquito-borne illness. PNC's Amanda Dedicatoria has the details.
Out of the hundreds of travelers that arrived to the island of Guam, one passenger found themselves afflicted with a persistent high fever and severe pain after coming back from the Philippines, symptoms that the Department of Public Health and Social Services is currently investigating whether or not they may be a sign of a contraction of the dengue virus. According to Public Health Director Linda Denorsi, the department is currently waiting for lab results to determine whether or not the patient may have been infected with the virus and have taken measures to prevent a potential spread of the disease, such as consulting with the patient's neighbors.
Well, we had traps set up for the mosquitoes if it was the case, and we also had patients being knowledgeable and that live in their homes not to have breeding grounds for these mosquitoes. But we don't know for sure. It's not yet confirmed as far as if it is dengue.
While Guam does not have endemic mosquito-borne diseases, it is not uncommon to have imported cases from travelers returning from Palau, the Philippines, or the Marshall Islands. In addition, although the Aedes aegypti, the mosquito species that is a primary transmitter of the virus, does not live on Guam, the Asian tiger mosquito, which is another vector, does exist on the island. In light of this, Denorsi advises the public to prevent the spread of mosquitoes by practicing certain precautionary measures.
They go around their homes and get rid of all these areas that have tires that are to be disposed that are breeding grounds, or have pools or any other areas in their location that they can have no water being stored. That would be a breeding ground for the mosquitoes. And to change the water of their pet dishes regularly, and to just make sure that flower pots and wheelbarrows and all these other stuff that can have the water that is stored be no longer there.
Amanda Dedicatoria, PNC News.
The administration says Guam still has time to bat for representation in the upcoming Compact of Free Associations negotiations. In an interview with the Patio Arroyo show on News Talk K57, Adelie Chief of Staff Tony Babauta said the U.S. still has to select an official negotiator for the talks, and no official circular has been released yet with regard to the COFA negotiators. This means that Guam is not late in the game and can still participate meaningfully in the COFA talks. Governor Lou Leon Guerrero has already written a letter to U.S. Secretary of State Michael Pompeo asking that Guam be included in compact renegotiations and be given official status. The governor pointed out in her letter that Guam is in the U.S. jurisdiction nearest to the FAS, with a shared history as indigenous people who traversed the Pacific.
They haven't begun their negotiations. On the U.S. side, a negotiator has not been chosen. And as far as I can tell in conversations I have with people from D.C., there has to be a circular that's approved by the Office of Management and Budget that dictates what the framework for the negotiator is. So no, well, we're absolutely not late to the game.
Babauta said the administration is also working with FAS leaders to include Guam issues in their upcoming negotiations with the U.S. In fact, Babauta said the governor already talked with FAS leaders during the recent Micronesian Chief Executives meeting and the inauguration of FSM President David Panuelo. In other news, we turn now to one of the largest container ships in the United States that has recently docked on Guam. Let's check in with our very own Ayana Shed with this report.
Hafa Guam, I'm Ayana Shed for PNC News, and we are here at the Kaimanahila, Matson's largest container ship in the United States. Today they're giving us a quick tour of the ship, so let's take a look. Guiding the tour of the ship is Matson's chief engineer Brad McDermott. The vessel tour began at the galley and crew mess room, where we got to see how the crew live their daily lives. The tour took us through the crew and captain's staterooms, which had an impressive space for their staff to relax and have fun while out on sea. The tour ended at the navigation bridge with a view of the hundreds of containers stacked on the massive ship. Stretching over 854 feet, the Kaimana Hila is 3 times the height of the Statue of Liberty. It is the largest container ship ever built in the U.S., alongside its sister ship Daniel K. Inouye. The Kaimana Hila is Hawaiian for Diamond Head and is a tribute to Hawaiian Senator Inouye's favorite song. It is also Matson's fastest vessel with a max speed of around 24 knots and carries about 3,220 20-foot containers. The vessel incorporates a number of green ship technology to help protect the environment, which includes dual fuel engines that can run on liquefied natural gas or LNG, freshwater ballast systems, and environmentally safe double-hull fuel tanks. This tour was part of the introduction of the new ship that was blessed earlier today by Guma Eninan Isainata as they welcomed the ship to Guam. Giving their opening remarks was Lieutenant Governor Joshua Tenorio, followed by Matson's Vice President and General Manager for Guam and Micronesia, Bernie Valencia. Other dignitaries from the government of Guam were also present at the event.
We've served this community, as you said, Governor, for over 2 decades, and it's our pleasure to continue providing this service for decades to come with these newer, bigger, and faster ships.
Reporting for PNC News First, I'm Ayana Shed.
Thank you, Amanda, for that report. Up next, your weekly dose of Life in Balance with GRMC.
Life in Balance is brought to you by Community First Guam Federal Credit Union, your good neighbor pharmacies, Simply Food, and Guam Regional Medical City, where patients are partners.
His case was a bad case of bronchiectasis, and there's no pill option because it was growing a resistant bacteria, no pill option. He's been coughing for a year, right, Mr. Barsano?
Yeah.
For a full year.
So this is working well.
This has worked very well.
This was the last day of portable IV therapy for Primo Beosano. 3 weeks of antibiotic treatment for a bronchial infection, now cured. Portable IV therapy is a service that GRMC's infectious disease physician, Dr. Michelle Yamamoto, introduced to her patients earlier this year.
This is a PICC line. This is inserted into one of the bigger vessels of the arm, and it goes to the great vessels of the heart so that the antibiotics can be delivered. The PICC line actually ends here, and this white plastic tubing is all part of what we call a CAD pump. This is a portable CAD pump that patients typically put inside their belt bag, and they carry it around.
Patients are coached on the use of the portable IV units before they leave the hospital. They never have to find a vein on their own and self-administer. The PICC line is inserted before they leave, and the CAD pump is programmed ahead of time with instructions to administer the necessary medication at the right dosage and at the right time.
So patients, when they leave the hospital, or even if they get the PICC lines as outpatient, meaning not as inpatient, this is done by our interventional radiologist, Dr. Scott Shea, and Dr. Eric Spack does this as well. Patients are not going home trying to find their own veins.
It's already in.
It's already in.
All
yes.
they have to do is plug in the medication.
Yes, actually you just plug this in.
Right there.
Right here. And then they're all good to go.
No pain?
No pain at all.
Convenient? It worked well for you?
Well, it's not comfortable for me, but well, it worked, and I'm happy with it.
Home IV therapy is available for those suffering from bone or joint infections, for heart valve infections, for deep skin and soft tissue infections, among other conditions needing sustained antibiotic treatment. Since it was launched, more than 30 GRMC patient partners like Primo have enrolled and successfully completed the treatment program.
The benefits towards the patient revolves in the fact that they get out of the hospital. So number one, the risk of getting hospital-acquired infections becomes lower. Number two, they get to be in their own home. Some patients even are able to go back to their own workplace if it's only a once-a-day medication. And then also it decreases the cost for both, basically for the patient and the hospital.
To learn more about home IV therapy, call GRMC at 645-5500.
It's now time to check in with Ayana Shed on your local weather forecast, and a little later we have sports with our sports guy, Leo Payumo.
Hafa and welcome to your local weather forecast. I'm Ayana Shed and thanks for tuning in. We had a gorgeous day today, just a few patches of clouds. It was a bit breezy too, tracking a couple of wind gusts around 10 miles per hour. As we settle into the evening, temperatures have cooled down to our usual comfortable 77 degrees. And as we look ahead to tomorrow, a lot of clouds around, but not much for rainy weather, just a few showers. It's during the afternoon that we'll have the best chance for showers and even thunderstorms, especially in the south. However, we can look forward to a rather mild day with temperatures in the upper 80s. And as we get into Thursday, be sure to pack a nice cold drink because we'll be getting lots of sunshine and only a few clouds. Winds are also a lot nicer with breezy gusts of 10 to 15 miles per hour coming from the north, so expect to have a lovely Thursday. And that kicks things off for the middle part of the week. For more updates on the weather, be sure to come back every weeknight. Have a great evening. Adios.